someone called and said, is Pokemon demonic?
The answer to that is yes.
Do you like Pokemon? Not really. It's actually satanic. It teaches occultism, evolution, and makes you want to murder Christians. Satan using Pokemon to spawn demonic powers and murder Christians. You're making Pokemon sound a lot more fun than it really is. This was the reaction from American right-wing Christian conservative morons. I assume this moral outrage happened in other countries too? Nope, it was pretty much localized to the United States. I wonder why that was. I think we know why, but we're being too polite to say. Whenever something becomes wildly popular with kids, someone somewhere decides it must secretly be Satan, usually an American.
Pokemon is all based upon Japanese demons.
I don't want to sound too harsh, but this guy looks like he was made in a Dark Souls character creator. And Pokémon was no exception. By the late 1990s, Pokémon Red and Blue had turned Nintendo into the center of a global children's craze. Kids were watching the show, trading cards, and playing the games on their Game Boys. But in parts of the United States, a moral panic began to grow. Some religious groups warned parents that Pokémon promoted occult ideas, which is quite a strong reaction from people who literally advocate eating the flesh of a god. But what do I know? Churches organized card burnings where kids were encouraged to throw their collections into a fire, like tiny cardboard heretics. Because historically, the people burning things have always been the good guys, right? In hindsight, that may not have been the best financial advice. Some of those collections today are worth enough to buy a house. And if one of those cards happened to be a holographic Charizard, you might be looking at several houses. Some pastors even warned their congregations directly.
Pokemon is a game that teaches children how to enter into the world of witchcraft, how to cast spells, how to use psychic phenomena, how to put to work supernatural powers against their enemies.
Which is quite an impressive list for a franchise about collecting cartoon animals. And yes, evolution was apparently part of the problem. Evolution has always been a contentious topic amongst people who think dinosaurs and humans coexisted. Apparently nothing threatens civilization quite like a small yellow rat turning into a slightly bigger yellow rat. The panic eventually made its way onto television. Of course, this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. In the 1980s, Dungeons & Dragons was accused of promoting Satanism.
Dungeons & Dragons. Some claim it's a simple, harmless game.
Dungeons & Dragons is a real serious problem.
Dungeons & Dragons was accused of promoting devil worship, rock music, Marilyn Manson, and Harry Potter. Yes, later Harry Potter would also be accused of teaching witchcraft. In the 1890s, bicycles caused a moral panic because people worried women might become too independent. Women, stop being independent. I'm starting to think humans might be idiots. Pokémon just happened to be the latest cultural villain. In reality, its creator, Satoshi Tajiri, has always said the idea came from something much simpler. As a child, he loved collecting insects. The entire concept of Pokémon was inspired by kids exploring nature and trading creatures with friends. So not demons, no occult rituals. Sadly not. And like most moral panics, the Pokemon scare eventually faded. Kids kept playing, the franchise kept growing. Today, Pokemon is one of the largest entertainment franchises in human history. Which means the great demon summoning threat of 1999 ultimately resulted in children trading cards in playgrounds. In hindsight, the Pokemon panic looks a lot like every cultural scare before it. A new form of entertainment appears, adults misunderstand it, and suddenly someone is explaining on television why it might summon demons.
But while you might not take it quite seriously, I assure you that demons take it quite seriously.
And no children, as far as we know, were successfully recruited into Satan's army, which is disappointing. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Bye!
We cut them up and put the dead bodies in the trash bags and got rid of them.
Blah, 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 blah.